Hi guys, it's Tyler again here. Some of you guys might recognize me from the Financial Education Summit we just did in Brisbane, or the home study course, or the boot camp that we did in Las Vegas, or the trip we had to Phoenix. For those of you that don't recognize me or haven't seen me in some videos before, my name is Tyler. I've been in the real estate investment industry for almost 15 years now. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about tax foreclosures. Let me give you a little bit of background about why we're here to talk about tax foreclosures. Basically, a little bit about my story is roughly 15 years ago when I was a young man, I decided I was going to get into the real estate market. I started buying mortgage foreclosures, buying off the MLS, buying through direct mail to people who owned houses, putting up advertisements, bulletin boards, signs, any way you could possibly find a house. I was knocking on doors trying to find them when I was a very young man. We used to buy all these houses for somewhere between $15,000 and $100,000. And when I was, I think about 19, maybe 20 years old, I was in a mortgage company. And this guy said, you know what, Tyler, if I was you, I'd just go down to the tax sale and go down to the courthouse steps and buy these houses you're buying for $2,000 and $3,000. And I was like, looking at him thinking, wow, you can really buy a house for $2,000 or $3,000? And I didn't even know anything about the tax sale at this time. Like I said, I was a 19-year-old man. But I knew that houses I was buying for $20,000 or upwards to $75,000 or $100,000, people were buying for $2,000 or $3,000 at these tax sales. So I was absolutely blown away by that. So this is something that I started looking into heavy. Started buying at the tax foreclosures, like I said, at a very young age. I thought, you know what, I got $40,000 in my pocket, basically from the business that I'd made, and I was buying houses for, let's say, an average of $25,000 a piece. So in my mind, I was gonna go buy 20 houses for $2,000 to spend my whole 40. So this was something that was very exciting to me. A little bit more about me. Again, I started doing the real estate when I was 18, 19 years old. Never read any books. I've never had a mentor. I've never had a tutor. Really never had anything. I just had an idea and a passion for real estate and a drive to succeed. And everything that I'm going to teach you in this video today, everything I'm going to teach you in this class or through this partner program is things that I've done. This is my own experiences. I didn't read a book. I didn't look in the newspaper. I didn't get a sign from God. These are things that I've done on my own, things that I've done, learned, tried, true and tested, insider's tips to how to buy at tax sale foreclosures. At the age of 19, when I started my business, I had no money. I had 4 or 5 credit cards I took cash advances on. I grew up in a rural community outside of a small town in the middle America. And from age 18 or 19, when I started my real estate business, to about age 23, I'd amassed almost $1 million in liquid cash in the bank, plus a few $1 million in assets. By the time I was 27 years old, I had multiple millions of dollars and was doing really well. Then the global financial meltdown, the global financial crisis came, and we've navigated through that, and here we are in 2012, and we're doing really good. I don't really do a lot of these speaking on the camera, a lot of these educational videos. As a matter of fact, I really don't even like them. But some of the marketing partners that we have and some people have asked me to do this, and so what I'm going to do is try to give you all the knowledge that I have, portray my knowledge onto you, and teach you about this tax sale foreclosure opportunity. And I'm going to give you all of my insider tips, my secrets. This is not something a guy that read something online and made some video is putting out there. These are things that I've done thousands and thousands of times over. So all I'm trying to do is give my knowledge to you on this videotape. I'm not going to tell you anything that I haven't done. Everything I'm going to tell you is a fact. These are facts of things that we've done, success stories, failures, all of that is encompassed in this insider's tip to tax sale foreclosures. From here, we're going to go into talking about the whole buzz about the tax sale, what that opportunity is, and how you can use it to make money. Okay, guys, basically we've got 2 things here. We've got the opportunity of the tax sale and then kind of the buzz of what the tax sale is. And I want to back up for just a second and kind of touch back on that the financial summit that we had and actually the thing that we did in Las Vegas as well. We had the boot camp in Las Vegas that was only about a month ago. We had the 3-city tour where everybody came over and went to Kansas City and Dallas and Indianapolis. And it was really a big deal, but the thing that kind of struck me, which is what has facilitated this entire video and this series and this partner program, is when I was in Las Vegas, I was up there talking about many things, and at the very end, I touched on the tax foreclosure. And everybody's eyes got all big and wide. I kind of talk about buying a property for $750, buying one for $3,000. I got off stage, and every single person that came up to me was like, Tyler, tell us about the tax sale. Tell us about the tax sale. Tell us about the houses for $500. And so I'm sitting and answering questions to a group of people about the tax sale, tax foreclosures, and everybody was so excited, and the staff even that was running the event was coming up to me and asking me about these things too. And really what it triggered was us to think about, you know what, we need to put together a video that actually talks about these tax sales, these tax foreclosures, and how I can give you this knowledge and let you use this knowledge for financial gain on your part. So that's how we got here. Again, this isn't what I do. I'm a guy that goes out and buys houses and invests in real estate. I'm doing this because I want to give you guys this value. I want to give you the chance to do some of the things that we do. And seeing everybody at the event and how excited they were about this whole thing really kind of got me excited to do this. So I really appreciate all your time in staying with us today. So that's kind of the buzz. The opportunity, what's the opportunity? The opportunity is as simple as this. Basically, in America, which is a little different than some of the things in Australia, in New Zealand, and some of the places in Eastern Asia is, we have the ability to purchase real property, houses, lots, duplexes, apartment complexes, at what's called a tax foreclosure sale for pennies on the dollar. Basically, in the areas that we're going to be focusing on, we're going to be focusing on states and counties that do these true and final tax foreclosures. And what that means is a property goes into foreclosure for delinquent taxes or non-payment of taxes. At a sale or an auction, the ownership of that property is actually transferred to the buyer, to the investor, who would be you or me or whoever's buying it. I don't focus on the tax liens, tax stamps, tax certificates, none of that. I don't care about any of that. I'm a real estate guy. I love houses, I love real estate, I love apartment complexes. That's what I do, that's what I love. And so I want to go buy a house. I don't want to buy a piece of paper that gets me 5% a year. I want to buy a house that I can make 100% on my money, or have a long-term asset that I can invest in for a long time. So I love the tax sales. Absolutely love them. So the buzz was created at the Financial Summit and also at the boot camp we had in Las Vegas and the 3-city tour. The opportunity is the fact that we can buy houses for pennies on the dollar. I'm just going to throw a couple of examples up here real quick. The first one is this 8108 Flora Avenue in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, I know the house doesn't look like a whole lot. It's almost looks like a modular home or a trailer from the front. But this house was bought for $3,480.29, had a previous sale high of $85,000, and rents for somewhere around $850 a month. Okay, so $3,500 roughly for this property that at its high was worth $85,000. Now, this house that's on the screen now, you can see we didn't buy it in this condition. This was after we refurbished it, we put a tenant in it, we did a really good remodel on it, and it did need a lot of work. You know, we had to put several thousands of dollars in work. We had to tenant it, but at the end of the day, buying this property for $3,000, I don't care if it was $20,000 in work, to be into it for $24,000 with an $850 a month rent on a property that was worth $85,000, that's pretty phenomenal to me. Anytime you can buy a house anywhere in the world, especially in the United States of America, for $3,500, that's pretty amazing. There'll be another example coming across the board. I want you guys to remember this one. This is a real good one here. Look at this big, beautiful two-story, 2215 East 70th Terrace. This was a tax sale purchase. Look, $2,668.51. Who wouldn't want this big, beautiful two-story, 2,000 square feet home? This property was worth almost $100,000 at the height of the market and rents anywhere from $800 to $950. So this one also needed a lot of work. But again, if I'm buying it for $2,200 and I have to even put $20,000 into it, boy, what a steal at $900 rent. I feel like I would live in this house. It's a beautiful house. Okay, so those were two examples of great houses at the tax foreclosure. I could give you 1,000 examples like that. I just wanted to put two up on the screen. So a $3,480.29 house or a $2,268.51 house. One worth $75 at the height, the other worth $80 at the height, both renting for $850 plus. pretty phenomenal returns on investments, unbelievable. So basically, there's the opportunity. Who couldn't see that opportunity? Who doesn't want to buy a house for $2,300? I do. So that's the opportunity. That's how the buzz was created. And I already told you guys a little bit earlier about how I even started doing this. Like I said, back in the day, I went into this mortgage shop and this guy had told me, hey, you know what, Tyler, you're buying and doing a lot of houses. Why don't you buy a lot at the tax sale when it comes up? And I was like, wow, you know, I never heard of this tax sale. So like I told you before, I went and got this $40,000 that I had saved up in my little business and ran down to the tax sale, went down. He told me you could get one of these Pulse papers here in Kansas City. This is the Pulse. As you see, I've marked this one up. This is actually one we used in 2010. This is an actual paper that was used at a tax sale in 2010. But this is an example of what the properties are listed in. We'll go into this later, but when this man told me about this, I ran down, got me a paper, and started looking for houses, and like a bull, I rushed in and went down to the old tax sale and started buying houses. There's a little bit more to the story than that. Buying at the tax sale, it takes a professional. It takes a trained expert. At 18 or 19 years old, I was anything but a trained expert. I was a kid with a lot of passion and love for real estate and a lot of blind ambition. I just kind of rushed in and did this. Now, at the end of the day, I was successful at this tax sale. I probably had 16 successes and 4 failures, and had a few more failures on some tax sales over the next 2 years. But that's kind of the beauty of this course. Every mistake that you can possibly make, I've made. One of my friends, a smart man, told me a couple days ago, he said, hey, you know what? You can read a book or buy a seminar packet on how to ride a bike all day long, but you don't really learn until you jump in and do it. So I got all these friends of mine that have been sitting around looking about how to invest in real estate for 3 years, reading books on tax sales and mortgage foreclosures and buying properties off the courthouse steps. They haven't bought a damn thing. I ran down the first year. I guarantee after that first year when I was 18 years old, I know more than any expert you've seen on TV. And next, we're going to talk about the purpose and benefits of this. Okay, guys, now we're at the point where we're going to talk about the purpose and the actual benefits of this program. The purpose I've kind of already covered. The purpose is for me to try to portray my knowledge onto you, someone who wants it. Whether you just want the knowledge, you want to use it to do this on your own, it'll make you feel more comfortable. Maybe you partner with us to where we walk you through the program, or maybe you say, you know what, that all sounds great, but is there a way I can get the finished product and just have that in a nice clean box, turnkey, ready to go? So we're going to give you the ability or the avenue to make one of those 3 things happen. And again, the purpose that I'm doing this is the buzz that was created at the boot camp and the financial summit. Everybody was starving for this knowledge, so the purpose is basically out of necessity. People wanted some of this knowledge, so we're trying to give it to you. The benefits of the program, I've kind of already touched on these as well. I don't know anybody who knows tax sale foreclosures any better than my company does or some of the partners that we work with. So you're going to get to utilize our insider tips, our insider strategies, all the years of experience, and all the mistakes that we've made. Another friend of mine one time asked me what the definition of an expert was, or actually showed me, I'm sorry, what the definition of an expert was, and it said somebody who's made all the mistakes. We've made 1,000 mistakes. That's why we know everything to do. We're hard, battle-tested in the school of hard knocks. We've done this. We've been there. Again, I'm a little leery to even do this program, and I want to say this. I'll say this for the last time. I don't want to be one of these guys who's just standing up here telling you how to do a tax sale foreclosure and reading off all this stuff and trying to sell you on something. That's not what I'm trying to do. And I don't want you to ever think of me of that guy. I'm a guy who really does this. I'm going to do this next year, next week, next month. I'm going to keep doing this. But I'm also going to allow you guys the ability to tap into this with us. I'm not somebody who's just standing up here selling you information and doesn't have a clue. To be honest with you, in preparation for this video, I was made by some people to watch a couple of these other videos, and it really made me sick. I'm looking at these guys thinking, you know what, how many houses has this guy bought? How many deals has this guy done? I can tell he hasn't done any. And so I don't want anybody to think I'm one of those guys. That's my disclaimer. We'll move forward from there. So basically the benefits, what are the benefits? Like we've already talked about. You're going to get the advantage of all the mistakes we've made, the knowledge that we have, the things that we've done. Again, these are my and my team's experiences that we're gonna share with you guys. Every mistake you can think of in the book we've done. We one time thought we were buying a house and bought a lot. One time I thought I was buying, this has actually happened twice in two different scenarios. I thought I was buying a house, I bought a lot. Another time we were a little rushed, we thought we were buying a house, we bought a lot. One time I bought a house, and 2 weeks later it got torn down by the city. Another time I bought a house that had a $40,000 tax lien on it. Well, I thought that was a home run. So every mistake that can be made, we've made, and we've learned from those mistakes and moved on. But again, I don't want you to think they're all mistakes. We've bought thousands of these. We don't make these mistakes anymore. These are all things I did when I was 18, 19, and 20. Now I'm 21, I know a lot more. Oh wait, no, I'm actually, whatever, 30 something. But so here we are, we're gonna portray some of this to you guys and move on from there. You're gonna have the opportunity to work with us, and we're gonna show you, how to do your research, how to research the house, how to research the title work. You're gonna take you from the beginning to the end and teach you about the individual houses, the process, and everything. And really, this is all kind of summed up in what we call the 9 key steps to success. We were going to use 10, but it just sounded too generic, so we trimmed it to 9. We're really efficient. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the 9 key steps to success. Okay, before we get into the 9 key steps at length, I want to give you one quick brush overview of where we're going. But even before I do that, I want to say this. We live in a world that's changing very quickly. This isn't like the 1960s, 70s, 80s, or even the 90s, really. Ever since the advent of the internet and text messaging and videos and all these things, our world's moving at the speed of light. It's true for the tax foreclosure sales as well. Tax foreclosure sales ran one way for a lot of years with a newspaper and a Polaroid camera or just your eye or whatever it may be. But over the last, I would say 6 to 7 years especially, this whole tax foreclosure thing has really accelerated. The amount of people who are trying to buy at tax foreclosures, investors from America, investors from other countries, equity funds, all kinds of hedge funds, are coming in trying to buy these tax foreclosures up as fast as they can. So that creates a lot more competition, 1. 2, with the internet and all these counties that do the tax foreclosures, there's additional tools you can use to look things up online, streamline the process, fine-tune this process to a point where it makes it a little bit easier on you. Every year there's a new tool that springs up. There's a new thing you can use, a new way to download properties. There's a new player in the market that you're gonna have to compete with. So this whole tax foreclosure thing, it's a complex process to start with, but it makes it even more complex in the world that we live in a very competitive market. So this kind of got me thinking. I was talking to the guys in the office. I said, you know what? All these videos I looked at, some of them are 2, 3, 4 years old. Stuff they're talking about doesn't even apply. They probably don't even know it doesn't apply because they don't buy properties. I know it doesn't apply because I bought properties a few months ago. I'm gonna buy properties next month. I'm gonna buy properties next year. I'm gonna be in the pit buying. So if anybody's gonna be able to give you up-to-date knowledge on the newest trends, the newest changes, the newest cutting edge, competitive advantages, it's gonna be us because we're in there actually doing it. So I think that's a very important piece of this puzzle. Also, we're gonna touch on the markets, the different markets that we could possibly be in. We buy in markets all over the place. But you know what? I'm a Midwest guy. I don't know if you know what that means. I grew up in the middle of America, the middle of the USA. I grew up in a rural community, a farming type community, and my first tax sales were in Kansas City, Missouri. That's where I started. That's where I got my start. And I have other tax sales that I like to go to now that are equal in many ways to Kansas City, but Kansas City is still one of my favorite markets. So I have to pick a market. I can't do every city in America, every market in America, because we're going to give some thorough examples and walk you, like I said, from the beginning to the end. So Kansas City offers us a couple of nice things. And 1, they have a huge tax sale. So we have a lot of product to choose from. 2, in that huge group of products, there's different investment strategies that work for each house. So I can portray a few different investment strategies with that sample size in Kansas City. So from here forward, everything that I talk about is going to be in relation to the Kansas City, Missouri tax foreclosure sale, and it's actually in Jackson County. States in America, we have cities within inside the states, but we also have counties. The county's the one that actually handles the tax foreclosure sale for the state. So it's the individual counties that do the foreclosing. So the city of Kansas City is within the state of Missouri, but also in a smaller subset in the county of Jackson. So state of Missouri, county of Jackson, city of Kansas City, that's where we're going to be looking at this tax sale foreclosure. I just wanted to give you a brief overview before we kind of jumped into these 9 steps. It's basically a 9-step thing that we've broken down for you to make this a little bit simpler to walk it from A to Z. So from here, I'm going to talk to you about the actual 9 steps themselves.